Hello and welcome to this latest video in our series about useful things to have on your boat.
Yes, gadgets. We do love a gadget. And we're in the position having the YouTube channel where lots of people give us good ideas and we try out lots of things and try and put the best ones on here.
And this first one is one of Steve's particular obsessions.
Lighting. Now, one of the things that's really important on a boat is good lighting. We went through this a little bit right at the start when we did a boat tour of Fair Isle. They just come on a reel. They're just basically a tape which is sticky backed. You can see you can just pull the sticky off the back and stick them wherever you want. You don't want them stuck on view because you don't want the light in your eyes. You want it sort of either under something going up a wall so that it washes light onto surfaces. That's what makes it a nice sort of ambient light, really. So I've been using those strips for about 5 or 6 years, and I said in that original video I didn't think they'd last that long, and they don't. They last for a year or two, but they're cheap as chips and you can just rip them off and stick a new one on, so that's not a big issue. But what is a bigger issue is sometimes when they go you get a bit of smoke from them, and the last one that I had go, in fact it wasn't one of these types, this is the sort of thin ones with just a little bobble where the light is on each one, but you can get one that looks more robust, which has a sort of a gel coating over the top of it. And it was actually one of these ones. It cracked. They tend to crack, I think, if they've been in the sun. They get a bit hot, and then you get any moisture on there, and you actually got some flames from one of these. So once I got that, I thought, well, okay, that's it. I don't want these on the boat. So I took them all out and looked for something better. Unfortunately, I was looking at the first time when I bought these for the best I could get, and I don't think these existed then, but they do now. Got it on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. It's Amazon UK, but I'm sure elsewhere you can get something like it, something similar. And these ones are completely waterproof. You can put these underwater, they still work. You can see they're much more robust and much nicer actually as well, because unlike these which have just got the little spotlights as they go along, this is continuous light all the way along it. They look really good. They're about twice the price, but definitely worth it. So yeah, let's have a go. I'll put one of these up actually out here in the doghouse and we'll see how it looks. So that's it, they're all up. They're a little bit more difficult to fit than the other ones. I haven't got the pull-off strip at the back, they're not sticky. But in fact, that pull-off strip I found quite often it wasn't sticky enough, it didn't go on. So with these I've used a bit of contact adhesive, and they do come with some clips, but the clips are made to fit them sticking outwards. I wanted it to be flat. So actually what I used were the sort of ones that you use for Twinkle on Earth type cable, exactly the right size. So I put a few of those on there as well, and they've held it up really well. So let's turn them on. It's on its red mode at the moment. Let's pick it on white, and I think it's down, so let's turn it up, see how bright it gets. It's still light here, but you should be able to see that. The sun's just about to set. If I bring it around this way, you might be able to see it better. But yeah, that's great. I'm using the old remote from the other ones. It still does it. I could change the control box over and do it that way. Let's just put it on its red and turn it down. Obviously you can dim it, you can do everything you want. But in fact, actually, if you put it round to the new ones, it's even more snazzy than this. Let's turn that back up. Because it's a Wi-Fi enabled one. So if I just change this control box over here to the new control box, I can use the new remote, and that means you can use Alexa if you've got something like that with it as well. It'll follow music, so you've got a real disco sort of effect with this one, so I might change them over at some point. But yeah, at the moment I've got loads of these remotes, so I can just control them all with these, and I'll go and replace the other ones inside, the ones I haven't done yet. So yes, I'm very glad we found those. I will keep you updated on how robust or otherwise they are. I mean, I think looking at them, they look really robust. So yeah, hopefully not going to need changing. Worth the money, I think. Now, for people that watch our videos, you'll know that Judy quite often is sitting out here trying to learn the language of whatever country we're going to. She uses all sorts of different apps, but has found a good one now, I think.
I have. Babbel. Babbel is sponsoring this video, and I'm very glad I did find them because they are just what I need. One of the best things about our travelling lifestyle is we get to experience new cultures, countries, people and languages all the time. We're currently in Spain, and it really helps to know a little bit of Spanish. And I don't just mean the obvious words like hola, hello and gracias, thank you. Babbel gets you to a point in a few days and weeks where you can go to the shops or order a meal. Puedo pedir paella y un poco de agua fría. Okay, so I'm not word perfect yet, but people always like you to have a go. The Babbel lessons are taught by practicing language teachers, and research shows that by using Babbel, you can start speaking with confidence in about 3 weeks. There are also live classes you can join. The first 2 are free with your subscription. To get Babbel, just click the link below, and when you use our link, you will get 60% off. So click the link and start learning a new language today. Yeah, and I should mention that as well as being a useful way of learning a language, it's also quite fun. So, yeah, going back to school, who'd have thought?
Yeah, and you can learn with other people. There's lessons and things on there as well.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Now, this next one is something that has been really, really useful for us in the last month because we've had a massive heat wave.
Essential, I would say.
In the Med. Yeah, I never thought it's something we would have on the boat, but I'm very glad we've got it.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. Well, I promised a review on this next one a couple of weeks ago when I put out a Facebook post in the height of the heat wave here in the Mediterranean, and I had a load of responses from that Facebook post, more than I've had for anything else, and it's not surprising. It's because it was about this BOURGERV's new aircon unit, a little portable aircon, runs off DC or AC. It runs off 24 volt DC though, so if you've got a 24 volt boat, it comes with a cable, you can wire it directly in. We're 12 volts, so I'm actually running it at the moment just through the inverter off the boat or from one of our solar power stations, but I might, if we're using it a lot in the tropics, just get a transformer and drop it down so I can run it from the boat directly. But it's very efficient. The most I've ever seen it draw is 230 watts when it's really hot and it's going full pelt. So we can run it all night. I mean, quite often what we do is just run it for a few hours before we go to bed, cool the cabin right down, and then turn it off, open all the hatches, and it's absolutely fine. It works really well like that. So let's have a look at what it actually looks like. You see you've got the 2 pipes here, the vents that are coming through. One is just sucking air out of the cabin, cooling it down, taking it back in, so you get that just going round and round in the cabin, so it gets it cooler and cooler, less and less humid as it runs. The other side has the same thing, just to cool the condenser plate inside, so you've got hot air coming out of there and it's sucking in cooler air from there just to cool the plate inside. And it's a Panasonic compressor inside, which is a very high quality one. So yeah, it's very good. Oh, there's a plane taking off. We're sitting in Gibraltar at the moment, and it's coming up to the evening, coming up to our bedtime, so we are cooling it a little bit. It's not too bad though now, so I don't think it's going to be drawing too much power. Let's have a little look. No, not at all. 32 watts. I mean, yeah, that's obviously cycled off at the moment. It normally takes a bit more than that, but now we run it outside. You could actually have it inside and have the other hoses, these hoses coming outside and just feeding the hot air back out. The other hose that you've got to worry about is this one here, which is what takes any water out, and I just stick that there through the scupper so that can run overboard any of the sort of condensed water that comes out of it. I mean, if you had it inside, we would have it in the aft heads, and if it's in there, then we can just put it into the shower tray or into the sink and it can run there. You could just run into the bilge, there's not a lot of water. So yeah, I mean, it's not noisy either. Let's go down below and have a look at how it looks down there. Okay, so this is the aft cabin, and we've got the 2 pipes coming through, so that's taking out the cold air from the air conditioning, and that's sucking in the warmer air that's back up there, so it just circulate round and round. And if you really want to get the most efficiency, you could fill the gap in between with a bit of an old t-shirt, which I do sometimes. Obviously close all the other hatches and portholes in this cabin, and that does a really good job. And if I stop talking, that's the noise that it makes, just a low whine. I think it's actually less than your average fan, so I think all in all pretty good. Yeah, it's a great little unit, I think. It's light, it's small. I wish it'd come with a bag though. I mean, we store ours in the sow locker, and yeah, it needs a bag. So I found something that it fits in, but if it had something the right size and something that took the tubes as well. I mean, these are great. These are great. I mean, look, 'cause, you can put them anywhere, but you wouldn't want to have to store that, and they push up really nicely.
And they sound great.
Yeah, good sound effects. So yeah, if it had something that took all those, I think that would make it perfect for the boats. But moving on.
Yeah, moving on, and the next one is another favourite of yours, I think, and we've had a lot of feedback on this.
Yeah, people have asked us, so here it is. Okay, this is a bit of a long-term review because we've covered this one before. This is KAMIKOTO knives. We got a set of these over a year ago, and at the time people said, well, do a long-term test because we're not sure that they'll stay sharp. They're great when you get them, but are they going to stay sharp? Well, I didn't have a whetstone. I should have bought one at the time I got the knives. They do sell them, I think, KAMIKOTO, but I didn't have one on board. So they went about 9 months without being sharpened, and I've got to say they stood up really well in that time. Obviously didn't stay super sharp, but they were pretty good. And now I've got the whetstone, and I do it every couple of months now with the whetstone, and it keeps them perfect. And I'm going to go through how to do that because a lot of people haven't used whetstones before. Clues in the name. You have to soak them, get them wet, so it's just a stone. Put it in the water. You've got different grits on there, so this is the coarse one. This one comes in a little stand. This is just something I found on Amazon. They're really cheap actually, and a good little set. So stick them in there so it holds it. And then what you've got to do at the beginning is best way is to just draw on it like that, and then rub the flattening stone over the top until the pencil line basically goes away. You can see you've got sort of a bit of a high spot on there, so you've got to keep going until that disappears. You have a perfectly flat stone that you can then start sharpen your knife on. It also brings up a little bit of grit, which is good. It's the grit that's going to sharpen your knife. So that's it. That's good. We've got no pencil marks left on there. And then basically with the knife, it only has a chamfer on one side. These Japanese knives are flat on the other, which is why you don't do them with a normal sort of knife sharpener. So obviously you have it on the chamfered side down, and just basically bring it back towards you. Just do this about sort of 20, 30 times with the coarse grit, and then I'll move on to the other one. Make sure your stone stays wet, and you'll see once you do it, it sort of builds up a layer of grit on the side there. Keeps them really sharp. It's perfect and easy to do. I think it's much more efficient than any of those silly knife sharpeners that you get for standard knives, which have never really worked for me. So I'll do the finer grit with that as well, and it keeps them in really good condition. So yeah, I would say they're a great thing to have. I've got some other ones. This is the new one that they have, the Damascus, which I think is, because I like the cleaver type. The original set came with paring knives and all sorts, but by far and away the one I use most is that cleaver. So I've actually got a big boy cleaver as well here because we're heading out to the Atlantic, and after my success with the big tuna the other day, I mean, these are great for fish. When you've got a big fish, you've got to get through it, bones and all. These are fantastic for that. So I think this one's going to be great. So yeah, on the whole, I think they're brilliant.
Now the sun is beginning to set here, and it's very warm at night, so we are increasingly having film nights.
Yeah, we sit outside and normally watch it on a laptop on the companionway hatch. But we've had a genius idea. Now, I think this is a genius idea. I think it was my idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it must be a genius idea.
Using my projector from my research.
Yes, Julie had a little projector. We thought, how could we use that? And yeah, we found a way of having our own cinema in the boat. It's great.
Lovely. So this is the screen. It fits perfectly here in the doghouse. It was indeed Steve's idea. He found it on Amazon. And this is my compact Apeman projector, which has been all around Africa with me as I show my films in villages during my research. And now we are using it for film night. So first thing to do, switch it on. It's plenty bright enough. As you can see, it's not quite dark yet, but it's quite a powerful little machine. It's got a good battery in it, but if you want to use a USB to plug in, then you can do that as well. And of course, you control everything from the computer. So tonight we're going to watch some Sailing Florence. Catch up on where they are.
Okay, so I'm going to have first dibs on the comfy comfort seat. We've only got one of these lovely recliner seats, trying to find another one. So if anyone knows actually how to contact Comfort Seat, I've been emailing them but not getting any response. We're trying to get one in Gibraltar because, yeah, we have to share this one.
You can go first, it's fine.
Thank you. Go then.
Well, they're coming home. They've done it. Well done. Yes, it makes for a proper cinema.
Yeah, it's great as well because that screen doubles up as a bit of a sunshade. Sometimes you've got the sun blasting through the glass in the doghouse in the evening, and you just pull it down, and yeah, does the job for us. It's great.
It does. Now, you may have noticed that Steve has changed. We were given this white T-shirt by Textile, and they courageously said that we could test it.
Yeah. I don't often wear white because on a boat you just get things dirty. Now this thing is supposed to be stain, water resistant, not sort of take on those, and doesn't really crease either. So it's quite. It's got a little bit of a crease, but it's been there for a while. This is your favourite bit.
Yeah.
You only get one chance at this. It's only one take, so I hope it works. Go on then. You were really waiting for that. Oh, look at that! It just runs off.
Yeah, it just runs off.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay.
So it's not a coating. This is actually in the
material.
In the material, but I've got some red wine. I'm not going to pour this everywhere because it's going to go.
No, please don't.
Just going to drip some on.
Okay.
And see.
All right. Now use the water to get it off. Wow.
Well, I think that's a result.
I think that's pretty good.
I wonder if they can sew a Fair Isle logo on, because that's I always wear the stuff with this Fair Isle logo on.
Yeah.
If we could buy these and get that done, these are great. Yeah, look at that.
I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but it's really impressive.
I think that's cut down, and it feels dry. Look.
Yeah, it does.
Great. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's our last test. I'm not sure about that at all. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back next time with another 5 or 6, who knows how many useful things to have on your boat.
And if you've got any ideas, let us know for the next lot.